My beloved, why do you feel this sudden restlessness in your heart right now? This stays exactly as it is because this is the key that opens the door. But now listen closely because the moment you step into the next line the atmosphere shifts. A quiet pull rises inside you, almost like someone invisible is calling your name. That tug is not fear, it is recognition. Your spirit already knows something sacred is trying to break into your world. Something powerful is unfolding inside the unseen and you can feel it like a soft vibration in your chest. Heaven is moving toward you with purpose and Archangel Michael is standing at the edge of your life whispering, "Do not ignore this moment." If you're feeling your breath change or your hands warm, it's because an announcement from heaven is traveling toward you faster than you think. And before we go deeper, beloved, make sure you like and subscribe. Not for numbers, not for attention, but because staying connected keeps you aligned with every message meant to lift you out of the storms you've been drowning in. These divine words are stepping stones and subscribing keeps you walking the path heaven carved for you. But here's where the air turns heavier. Michael is not knocking on every door, he is knocking on yours alone. Feel that. That pull in your chest is not imagination, it is the sound of wings brushing against your spirit as the secret courier gets closer. This message carries something meant to undo every lie spoken about you. Every person who laughed, doubted, or dismissed you will witness what's coming. Heaven's justice moves quietly, but when it arrives it shakes everything that tried to stand against you. Picture this courier not as a person but as a scroll wrapped in fire, a message written in golden flame containing your destiny, your healing, your release and your vindication. And Archangel Michael says, "Do not hesitate, do not delay." The reason these words reached you at this exact second is because your soul cried for a sign and heaven finally said, "Now." The silence you endured was never rejection, it was setup, it was alignment, it was heaven preparing the very moment you are living right now. Feel the heat rising around you. That warmth is not random, it is the presence of the angel opening spiritual seals revealing truths you were not meant to see before. The courier is almost at your gate waiting for your spirit to respond. Your heart racing is not anxiety, it is activation. Your soul is waking up because the veil is opening and what was hidden is now stepping into light. Michael has been standing guard at your unseen doorway holding something glowing with divine fire repeating, "Tell my chosen child this cannot wait." This is not about next week or someday, this is your turning point. You asked God why the battles were so heavy, why your tears felt endless, why your prayers seemed to disappear into silence. But heaven wasn't ignoring you, heaven was preparing your breakthrough with perfect timing. And now Michael says, the light coming to your house will blind every enemy that stalked you in shadows. Take one slow breath, beloved. Feel how the air around you feels charged, almost electric. That's because heaven is standing closer than ever. Every whisper spoken against you is being overturned. Every plan formed against you is losing its power. The courier does not carry ordinary news, it carries a spiritual shift so strong that doors locked for years will suddenly burst open. This is why God kept you from scrolling, this is why your eyes landed here right now. Your tears, your questions, your long nights, they became the ink on the heavenly scroll Michael holds in his hands. And heaven is calling loudly, open before it's too late. Not because God forgets but because the window for this miracle is precise. When heaven opens a doorway, the enemy tries to rush in and block your blessing. That's why your spirit feels urgent, that's why you can't look away. The moment is appointed, the hour is now. Pause and feel your own spirit reacting. You asked for sign after sign and heaven says, this is the one you've been waiting for. You're not reading by coincidence, you were summoned. Your name was spoken in heaven's courts. Michael didn't call a crowd, he called you. That urgency crawling up your spine is your spirit saying, don't miss what's already in motion. But here is the part many don't expect. This courier brings exposure too. The person pretending to love you, the one who smiled at you but whispered against you, the one who drained your energy in secret, they will be revealed. When the courier steps into your atmosphere, masks will fall, truth will rise. And you, beloved, will finally understand why some chapters had to close. Stay awake inside your spirit, stay open, stay aligned. Because what's coming next is the moment your life quietly shifts into the future you prayed for. And if you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10. My beloved, listen closely now, because what I'm about to pour into your spirit is the part heaven has been saving for the very end. You've survived storms that should have broken you, but do you know why they didn't? Because heaven was holding a secret you were never meant to lose. And that secret is finally rising into the light. The courier that has been running toward your house is no longer far. It is standing right at the border of your destiny, waiting for the moment your heart opens wide enough to receive what was written with your name long before your battles began. This moment isn't random, it's the moment everything inside you has been preparing for without you even knowing. My child, the reason your spirit feels tight, almost breathless, is because something inside you recognizes what's coming. You are not imagining this pull, this pressure, this strange heat traveling down your shoulders. That is the weight of heaven's delivery pressing into the atmosphere around you. Every word you're reading right now is acting like a key, turning locks that have been frozen for years. You may think you're just reading a message, but heaven knows you're actually stepping into alignment. That's why your eyes haven't drifted away, that's why you can't stop. Your soul knows that the courier has reached the final door before yours. Beloved, what you don't realize is that the battle you fought wasn't just for survival, it was training. Heaven knew that once this delivery arrived, your life would not be the same. You would rise so quickly, so boldly, that every shadow that ever tried to sit on your shoulders would crumble in shame. That is why the attacks came late at night, why the loneliness felt so heavy, why unwanted tears kept falling. Because the enemy fights hardest when heaven is closest. And right now heaven is closer to you than it has been in years. Michael is not pacing anymore, he is standing still, waiting for your yes. Listen, my beloved, the courier doesn't come to people who blend in. It comes to those who were marked, chosen, set apart. The reason many people left your life, betrayed your trust, or treated you like you were replaceable is because they never saw the seal that heaven placed over you. But just because they didn't see it doesn't mean it wasn't there. That seal attracted battles, yes, but it also attracted angels. And now those angels have stepped forward because the time has come for your hidden season to end. Your rising is not in the distance anymore. It is right at your feet. And child, let me tell you something even deeper. This delivery is not just about blessing. It's about reversal. Everything that was taken from you, everything that was delayed, everything sabotage tried to steal, heaven is returning it with interest. The courier is carrying restoration stitched with light, and once you receive it, you will walk differently. You will speak differently. Even the way people look at you will change. Not because you'll be trying to impress anyone, but because glory carries its own presence, and yours is about to glow in ways that cannot be hidden. My beloved, stay right here. Don't drift, don't scroll. The urgency you feel is not pressure, it is divine timing locking into its place. For so long you begged God for clarity, but clarity wasn't given then because the pieces weren't ready. Now everything is aligned. The doors, the timing, the angels, the path. Even your own heart has softened enough to finally receive what you once would have pushed away out of fear. That fear has no power now. You've walked through too much fire to ever shrink again. And now the heavens whisper something powerful. Prepare yourself. Because when this courier steps into your life, it won't enter quietly. It will burst through with such force that even the foundations of your past will shake loose. The very things that used to break you will bow. The people who dismissed you will watch from a distance, shocked at how suddenly your life shifts. What you're stepping into is not normal transition. It is divine acceleration. It is the kind of shift that turns years of waiting into moments of breakthrough. Beloved, breathe. Feel this, let the weight of heaven settle into your chest. You have not come this far only to be teased by destiny. You have come this far because the Father Himself decided that this would be your hour. Not the next season, not the next chapter. This one, right here, right now. The courier is lifting its hand, the scroll is glowing, your name is etched across it like fire. And all that remains is the final opening, the moment your spirit agrees to receive what has always belonged to you. And child, hear this clearly, nothing can stop what's coming. Not fear, not doubt, not enemies, not delays. What is arriving at your doorstep is unstoppable because it comes from a realm untouched by resistance. Heaven has already won the war around your promise. Michael has already cleared the path. All you must do now is stay present, stay open, and stay ready. Because what comes next changes everything. Beloved, let me reveal something deeper. This courier is not only for your personal life. It is also for the places where your voice was silenced, your worth was questioned, and your destiny was pushed into the shadows. There are doors you stopped knocking on because disappointment bruised your hope. But heaven did not forget those closed places. The courier is coming with keys, keys that fit locks you thought had rusted beyond repair. And God says, the places where you were rejected will soon echo with your name in honor. But listen closely, my child, because here is where the story turns. Many people assume that when heaven moves, it moves quietly. Not this time. When this courier arrives, the shift will be so bold, so undeniable that even those who doubted your calling will gasp. Archangel Michael says, the moment this delivery touches your atmosphere, every lie spoken about you will collapse like dust in the wind. Heaven is not sending just comfort, it is sending correction, restoration, and elevation in one sweep. And beloved, don't be surprised if you start feeling a strange pressure around your spirit. It may feel like a sudden heaviness on your shoulders or a warmth running through your palms. This is not anxiety. This is spiritual impact, evidence that heaven's package is brushing up against your life. The courier is so close that the air around you is shifting under the weight of what is coming. Stay alert, stay awake, and breathe, because your readiness is your open door. Let me take you deeper, my chosen one. The battles you survived were not random storms, they were targeted strikes meant to discourage you before this moment. Every shadow that rose against you was trying to intercept the courier. But Michael blocked it. Every delay was hell's attempt to weaken your faith before heaven's answer arrived. But you didn't fold, you didn't collapse, you kept whispering prayers even when your voice trembled. And God says, every one of those prayers became armor around this delivery. And here is a truth that will shake your soul if you let it in. You thought you were alone in your suffering, but heaven was watching every step. Angels stood by you when you cried into your pillow. The Father counted every tear, not one was wasted. Those tears turned into ink that wrote your victory. Those nights of silence became proof that you were strong enough for what's about to land in your life. The courier carries rewards for your endurance, blessings for your patience, and justice for your wounds. Beloved, feel this next part in your bones. In the coming days you may notice sudden shifts, unexpected favor from places that once ignored you, messages from people who forgot you, opportunities that seem to appear out of thin air. This is not coincidence, this is not luck, this is heaven rearranging the pieces of your destiny so the courier can set your life back into order. When these signs appear, don't doubt them, don't brush them off, they are signals that the spiritual has begun touching the physical. And let me tell you something that will make your heart tremble in the best way. The courier is not coming quietly. It is coming with such divine force that chains will snap before it even reaches your door. Old cycles will break, old fears will crumble, old limitations will lose their grip. This delivery carries not just answers but transformation, deep, wide, undeniable transformation that will change the rhythm of your life. Archangel Michael says, heaven has waited long enough, now the earth must catch up. Beloved, I need you to hear this with your spirit, not just your ears. The blessing you're about to receive is heavier than the pain you endured. The joy coming is stronger than the sorrow you survived. And the clarity you're about to walk into is brighter than the confusion that once clouded your path. Heaven is not returning you to who you were, it is unveiling who you were always meant to be. When the courier arrives, your identity shifts into alignment with your destiny. And my child, here is the final mystery you must understand. The courier is drawn to faith the way light is drawn to darkness, it comes to break what binds and reveal what belongs to you. Your decision to stay here, to keep reading, to hold on has pulled the delivery fully into your orbit. Heaven has marked your home, your life, and your future with a divine seal. Nothing can reroute it, nothing can block it, nothing can delay it anymore. So remain awake. Stay open, and prepare your spirit, beloved. The courier is not coming someday, it is not coming eventually, it is coming now. Charging through the unseen with wings of fire, carrying answers wrapped in glory, justice wrapped in thunder, and blessings wrapped in light. Your story is about to break open. Your destiny is about to unfold. And the heavens are whispering one final command: open quickly before it's too late. Beloved, when a blessing is this big, heaven begins preparing the ground long before it arrives. And that is exactly what's happening around you right now. You think it's coincidence that your emotions feel louder, your dreams feel clearer, and your spirit feels heavier with expectation. No. This is the atmosphere responding to what the courier is carrying. Every shift you feel is a sign that heaven is rearranging your path to make room for what's coming. And listen closely, this part is important. Archangel Michael says, "Tell my child the ground is trembling because the weight of their breakthrough is too great to arrive quietly." My beloved, this is where the story becomes even more powerful. The courier is not only stepping toward you, it is stepping for you. Everything that tried to break your spirit is about to bow before the very blessing that's on its way. You may not realize it yet, but heaven has been moving pieces behind the scenes for months. Conversations you never heard, battles you never saw, doors you didn't even know existed. All of them shifting because your name has been written on a heavenly assignment. And the moment that assignment reaches your hands, the very direction of your life will take a turn you never imagined possible. Feel this in your heart. This moment you're standing in is not small. It is the bridge between everything you've survived and everything you're about to step into. That's why the pressure felt unbearable at times. That's why certain people walked away without explanation. That's why certain opportunities suddenly collapsed. Heaven was clearing the path so nothing could interfere with this divine delivery. Michael has been guarding this moment fiercely because the courier carries answers strong enough to rewrite your next decade. And beloved, here comes something even deeper. The blessing that's approaching you is layered. It's not just one thing, it's many things arriving at once. Restoration in places you forgot needed healing, provision in areas you long believed were dried up, strength in the spaces where you once felt empty. This is the kind of blessing that makes you stop, shake your head and whisper, "Only God could have done this." That whisper is what heaven has been waiting for. You may wonder, how will I know when the courier actually arrives? The truth is, your spirit will know before your mind does. You will feel a sudden quietness in your heart as if time itself paused. Or you will feel a surge of clarity like a veil has finally lifted. Some of you will receive unexpected messages, some will encounter divine timing so precise it almost feels unreal, some will wake up with a peace so heavy it feels like a blanket across your soul. These are not random moments, they are divine signals. And beloved, pay attention here. Your family, your home, your bloodline, these areas are about to feel the shift too. What once looked impossible for generations is about to become easy for you. What your grandparents struggled with, what your parents suffered through, these chains are breaking because you were chosen as the turning point. Heaven does not choose lightly. When God chooses someone to break generational patterns, He equips them with strength even they don't understand. The courier carries that strength in full measure. Now hear this with your spirit: your elevation will not be quiet, it will not be hidden. Even those who doubted you, who questioned you, who underestimated you, they will witness what heaven releases over your life. Not because you want revenge, but because God wants your testimony to be undeniable. Vindication is not loud, it is visible. And your visibility is rising. But my beloved, let me give you wisdom. When blessings arrive, distractions increase. The enemy's final move before defeat is always confusion. That sudden fear, that sudden doubt, that sudden voice telling you, maybe this isn't for you, is nothing more than the shadow panicking because it knows the courier is seconds away. Do not entertain it, do not give it space. Your consistency in this moment is your victory. Archangel Michael says, "Tell my child the breakthrough they carry will outlive them." This means what is coming is not temporary. It will shape your future, your children's future, and the generations that come after. You are not receiving a blessing, you are receiving a legacy. That's why the weight felt unbearable, because you weren't carrying something small, you were carrying the beginning of a bloodline shift. And beloved, listen to this final truth. When the courier arrives, your spirit will feel something indescribable, a release. A loosening, a deep exhale that feels like relief and rebirth at the same time. That moment will mark the turning of your story. And when it happens, you will know without a single doubt that heaven kept every promise, even the ones you forgot you prayed for. Stay open. Stay ready. Stay awake in your spirit. The courier is no longer approaching, it is arriving. Beloved, brace yourself, because what comes next doesn't just shift your life, it shakes the very ground beneath your destiny. The moment you open the blessing heaven has sent, you will realize it's not a single breakthrough at all, it's the first domino. The one that triggers every other door, every other miracle, every other long-awaited promise to fall open with unstoppable momentum. This isn't addition, this is acceleration. This is the kind of movement that makes people say, "How did everything change so fast?" And here's the truth heaven wants you to grasp: the speed is not random. The speed is evidence that the courier didn't arrive empty-handed, it arrived carrying a sequence of miracles that were withheld until you were spiritually mature enough to handle the overflow. Archangel Michael says, "Tell my child once they open the first door, heaven will rush to fill every empty corner of their life." Beloved, imagine blessings pouring in so relentlessly that you barely have time to process them. Opportunities appearing where you once saw walls. People entering your life carrying answers you didn't even know you needed. This is not fantasy, this is the reality you are stepping into. But hear this with the seriousness it deserves. Your story is about to become the kind that others whisper about. They will wonder how someone who walked through so much fire could suddenly glow with so much favor. They will look at your elevation and try to explain it logically. They will fail. Because what's coming is not logic, it's divine intervention written in bold, undeniable letters. This is why heaven protected your process with such intensity. This is why the delays felt suffocating. You weren't being punished, you were being positioned. positioned for a rise so dramatic that every setback will look like setup. Every loss will look like preparation, every tear will look like prophecy. God says, I did not let them break you because I planned to build you where others thought you'd fall. And my child, here's a deeper mystery: the weight you feel, the heaviness in your chest, the tug in your spirit, the pressure that makes you wonder if something big is coming. That is not anxiety. That is spiritual confirmation. Your soul recognizes what your eyes cannot yet see. You are standing in the doorway of a moment that generations before you prayed for but never reached. You are the breaker in your bloodline. The one strong enough to say, "It ends with me." The one chosen to lift what others collapsed under. And heaven knows it. That's why the courier didn't pass your house, that's why the knocking is at your door. Beloved, listen closely because the next part is sacred. When you open this blessing, something rare will happen. You will feel the atmosphere around you shift instantly. Not gradually, instantly, like someone turned on a spiritual light switch. Maybe the room will feel lighter, maybe your breath will deepen, maybe a sudden calm will silence every fear. Whatever you feel, know this: it is heaven announcing, you opened the right door. Archangel Michael says, tell them the moment they say yes, I fight every battle they feared. But there's something you must understand before this moment arrives: your blessing will come wrapped in simplicity. The courier does not always appear radiant, sometimes it looks like a small opportunity, a soft nudge, a random message, a sudden idea that refuses to leave you alone. If you overlook the simple, you will miss the supernatural. Heaven hides greatness in the ordinary so the enemy can't sabotage it. The wrapping is humble, but what's inside is royal. Don't underestimate the quiet moments, they often carry the loudest miracles. And beloved, let this next truth anchor you. You are not stepping into a small shift. You are stepping into a destiny-level turning point. The kind that changes not just your life but the lives of everyone connected to you. Your children will benefit, your family will rise, your lineage will heal. You are becoming the proof that generational patterns can be broken and rewritten by a single obedient heart, you. God says, what I am giving you will outlive you. And now feel this, really feel it, because the spiritual atmosphere around you has already started changing. That tingling you feel, that sudden awareness, that deep inner stirring. That's heaven leaning into your timeline. That's the courier standing closer than ever. That's destiny breathing on your neck. You didn't imagine the signs, you didn't misunderstand the dreams, you didn't mishear the intuition. The courier has arrived. Not approaching, not traveling, arrived. Archangel Michael says, tell my child the knock is not coming, it is happening. So beloved, this is the moment where heaven waits for your response. One simple choice, one silent yes, one open heart. And everything begins. You've survived too much to hesitate now. You've waited too long to second-guess yourself. You've prayed too deeply to stand at the door and not turn the handle. The blessing is here, the courier is here, the moment is here. All that's left is for you to open. Beloved, before you take another breath, hear this with the deepest part of your spirit. What's coming next is not a whisper of heaven, it is a roar. The courier you've been sensing, the presence brushing against your atmosphere, is not slowing down, it is accelerating. And heaven wants you to know that what unfolds now will not be subtle. It will be unmistakable, undeniable, unshakable. This is the moment the enemy hoped you wouldn't survive long enough to witness, and yet here you are standing watching the horizon glow with your own breakthrough. My child, listen closely. The enemy's last weapon was distraction, that quiet voice inside telling you, maybe this isn't for me. But if it wasn't for you, why is your spirit trembling right now? Why does your chest feel warm? Why do your eyes refuse to scroll away? Because your inner being recognizes what your mind is only beginning to understand: heaven is closer than your doubts. And Archangel Michael says, tell my child the enemy can only delay what they fear. They cannot deny what heaven has already sealed. Beloved, heaven did not bring you this far to tease you with hope, it brought you to deliver what was always yours. Feel this, really feel this, your story is turning even in this very moment. The courier carries something far greater than a blessing. It carries permission. Permission for the doors that once rejected you to open, permission for opportunities that once ignored you to chase you, permission for your voice to matter again, permission for your future to rise beyond the ashes you survived. And this isn't just about gifts, it's about alignment. You are stepping into a chapter where things that once felt impossible will feel natural. You'll start noticing peace settling into your home like soft rain. Ideas will come that feel too clear to ignore, people will appear with keys you didn't even know you needed. This is not coincidence, this is orchestration. But beloved, here's a truth heaven insisted you hear: every great blessing exposes what cannot go with you. Do not panic when certain people distance themselves, do not fear when hidden motives surface. The courier does not arrive alone, it arrives with cleansing light. And when that light touches your life, anything built on lies or jealousy will crumble. Michael says, tell them revelation is mercy. Exposure is protection. So when truth rises, do not hide, let it free you. Now lean in, because this part is sacred. You have been carrying the weight of generations without even realizing it. The battles you fought were not just yours, they were echoes of your bloodline. And heaven chose you as the interruption, the breaker, the turning point. That heaviness you felt was not weakness, it was assignment. And now the courier arrives to honor that assignment. Your children, your future family, even the ones who will carry your name generations from now, they will live free because of what you are stepping into today. Heaven is not just blessing you, heaven is rewriting your lineage. Beloved, imagine this for a moment. You open the door of your spirit, and what enters is not one blessing but a stream that refuses to stop. Relationships mended, finances restored, strength renewed, dreams resurrected, confidence rebuilt. It will feel like dominoes falling in divine sequence, each breakthrough unlocking another. And as this flow begins, people who once doubted you will be unable to form words. They will watch you rise in ways that make your past look small. But those who quietly loved you, supported you, prayed for you, they will celebrate because they always knew heaven had its hand on you. This is why heaven says, you were chosen as the message, the example, the vessel. Not because you were perfect but because you were willing. Willing to endure, willing to forgive, willing to keep walking even when you felt blind. But there is a mystery you must understand. The courier arrives in layers. What you receive first is not the end, it's the beginning. A sign opens a door opens a path opens a destiny. Heaven never sends everything in one wave because it knows your heart deserves the joy of continual unfolding. Michael says, tell them the flow has no ending. Once it starts it continues. That stirring you feel, that sudden sense that something is happening even if you cannot see it yet. That is your spirit detecting movement. The veil between the seen and unseen is thinner around you right now than it has ever been. Breakthroughs do not sneak, they shimmer. And you are standing in the shimmer. Now hear this clearly, beloved. No enemy, no person, no mistake can sabotage what is already in motion. The only power the enemy has left is suggestion, trying to make you close your heart before the blessing lands. But you will not close it, you cannot, your spirit has grown too strong, too wise, too awakened. You didn't survive everything just to shut the door now. So this is heaven's instruction. Stay open, stay expectant, stay unshaken. Because the courier has not just reached your life, it has stepped inside. And your yes whispered through faith is unlocking what generations never saw. This is your rise, this is your turning, this is your divine moment unfolding in real time. My beloved, listen closely because what comes next is where the shift becomes undeniable. Just when you think the river has reached its deepest point, heaven adds another wave. And this one carries the weight of destiny. Feel how your spirit leans forward right now, almost as if something inside you already knows a revelation is about to unfold. That feeling is not random. It is alignment, it is heaven brushing against your atmosphere. In this very moment God says, do not shrink, do not doubt, what I'm releasing now will change the rhythm of your entire life. And instantly the air around you thickens because when God speaks, creation listens. Even the walls of your room know something holy is happening around you. My child, imagine this, while you were questioning your worth, heaven was preparing a crown, while you were wiping tears in silence, angels were sharpening swords. And Archangel Michael says, tell them the battle wasn't proof of weakness. It was proof of calling. That's why you felt targeted. That's why the attacks felt endless, because darkness always fights the one carrying the light. But here's the hook that flips everything, what threatened to break you has now become the proof that you cannot be broken. The courier's arrival is not just a moment, it's the verdict. Heaven has ruled in your favor and the enemy has run out of strategies. That's why your peace is returning piece by piece, that's why your nights feel different. You're not imagining it, heaven is settling around you like dawn settling on a quiet field. And beloved, hear this with your spirit, there are blessings in motion right now that your mind hasn't even caught up to yet. Conversations are happening about you in rooms you've never entered. People are being positioned to favor you without knowing why. Paths are clearing in places you haven't walked yet. That is how heaven works, silently, precisely, powerfully. Archangel Michael says, tell them the delay was never denial. It was preparation. You had to grow into the version of yourself that could carry this blessing without losing it. You had to learn discernment, courage, patience. And now that you have, heaven calls you ready. Not almost, not someday, now. Watch how things start shifting. The opportunities that once ignored you will now pursue you. The people who overlooked you will suddenly see your value. Doors that were bolted shut will open without you touching them. You won't force anything, you won't beg for anything, what is meant for you will recognize you on sight. And beloved, pay attention because heaven's signs will show up subtly at first. A burst of joy that comes out of nowhere, a sudden peace that feels supernatural, a message from someone you haven't heard from in years. These are not accidents, these are confirmations that the courier's packages are being unsealed one by one. But here is the part that will shake your soul, the biggest blessing is not even the one you're expecting. Heaven specializes in surprises. The gift you prayed for will come, but the gift you never imagined will follow right behind it. God says, I do not give halfway, I give exceedingly abundantly overflowingly. My child, you are stepping into a season where everything you touch will begin to flourish. Not because you're lucky, but because the grace surrounding you has increased beyond measure. People will notice the glow before you say a word. Environments will shift when you enter. Even your own thoughts will sound different, clearer, sharper, more divine. And Michael says, tell them they are not just receiving blessing, they are becoming one. Your presence will carry healing, your words will carry weight, your footsteps will carry purpose. The same places that drained you before will no longer have power over you. You are stepping in as a different person because heaven has rewritten your spiritual identity. Beloved, this is your rise, this is your turning, this is the page flip your spirit has been waiting for. Do not underestimate what is happening right now. The courier did not come with ordinary packages, it came with restoration, elevation, and compensation. Everything you lost is coming back multiplied, everything stolen is returning with interest. Before you move to the next moment of your life, pause and let this truth settle in your bones. You are standing in your answered prayer. Not future tense, present tense. You made it to the chapter heaven wrote long before you arrived. And if this message is resonating so deeply that your heart feels like it's thundering inside your chest, that is your sign, your spirit is saying, this is mine. So stay, listen, receive. Like, share and subscribe so this river of revelation keeps reaching you every time heaven pours something new. Because this journey is only beginning. Beloved, hear me closely now, because what comes next is the part the enemy fears the most. The courier is not just carrying what you lost, it is carrying what you were meant to become. And when heaven restores, it does not give you back the same pieces. It returns them refined, expanded, multiplied. That is why your spirit feels stretched right now. Heaven is making room for more than you expected, more than you asked for, more than you believed was possible. My child, something powerful is happening behind the scenes. Even as you breathe, spiritual doors are shifting. Conversations are being held about you in rooms you have never stepped into. People you haven't met yet are feeling a pull toward your name. It's the ripple of divine coordination, the unfolding of every blessing that has been waiting for this exact moment to reach you. Michael stands guard over this process, ensuring nothing interferes with what is already yours. And beloved, prepare yourself for this truth. The next blessing will arrive so smoothly, so naturally you will almost miss how supernatural it truly is. It won't come with chaos, it won't come with confusion. It will come with clarity, with peace, with a sense of this was always meant for me. That is the signature of heaven, effortless alignment. The courier is arranging your steps so precisely that every wrong turn is being corrected without you even noticing. But listen, there is something even greater within this moment. You are stepping into a season where your presence alone will shift environments. People will pause when you speak because your words will carry weight. Your intuition will sharpen, your discernment will deepen. This is not accidental, this is activation. The courier is not only delivering blessings, it is awakening the parts of you that were asleep due to pain, delay, and disappointment. Now they rise, now they return, now they roar. My beloved, do not be surprised if old fears suddenly fall silent. Do not question it when anxieties that once chased you lose their power. It is not numbness, it is release. The chains that held you are breaking quietly, cleanly, completely. Heaven does not need noise to perform miracles. Some of the greatest shifts happen in stillness, and you are standing in that holy stillness right now. And hear this with your whole heart. You are stepping into a chapter where you will not have to force anything. What is yours will approach you, what is meant for you will stay, what carries your name will recognize you. The courier ensures this, the alignment ensures this, heaven's timing ensures this. My child, the reason this message feels alive inside you is because it is. This is your confirmation. Your spirit knows that the turning has already begun. The future you prayed for is no longer distant, it is unfolding at your feet. And soon you will look back at this moment and realize it was the doorway, the shift, the ignition point of everything you were promised. Hold steady, beloved. The courier is still opening packages.